I decided to start with the hat this time because it was a lot easier to pick a thumbnail when I was wearing the hat in the last video, because otherwise my hair would be all crazy and I'd have a bad face and I would just be like, I can't use any of these. There's a reason that the thumbnail of the first video is just me sitting down. Anyway, hello everyone. Jordan here again. This is the first video that I'm making on a night that wasn't the night where I made my first three. So, essentially this is my first follow-up video. Upon making my first three videos, I felt really good about the fact that I did, because... Sorry. Allergies. Yeah, I wasn't crying or anything. I may sneeze in this video, and I'm not going to edit yet because, again, I want this to be organic. Anyway, I really liked how I felt afterwards. I felt like, because I was finally talking about things to something, I was able to feel more positive about myself that night. Now, that was temporary, and I knew it was going to be temporary, but that's something that I liked, and I'd like that to continue. With that being said, this was the first video that I had planned to make in the, What I Can Do to Get Better series. Upon making my first three videos, however, I realized that I needed to change that. Because in my first three videos, I had mentioned ways in which I could get better. I could try performing again. I could try, you know, other methods of improving my body image. I could wear hats if I don't like the way my hair looks, so I don't need to look at my hair and think that it's stupid. That sort of thing. And that's something that I didn't really account for when I had initially made the list of things. But, you know, it makes sense to still include that in the video nonetheless. So yeah, some things that I could definitely do are seek out performances that are, like, performing opportunities, I suppose. There are plays that are taking auditions right now. I believe that's one of the people I work with is actually directing one. I could talk to him about it. I'll let you guys know in the update if I actually do. Give me a moment, please. Ugh. I don't like this. Yeah, again, I'm not feeling all that great. But I needed to make the video because I said I would. Regarding the body image, I could make myself up a diet, but those haven't really worked for me in the past. I could try to work out, but the last time I did, I crushed my pinky with a barbell and got really discouraged. The process leading up to that was really fun though, so I suppose I could definitely try something. So that's on the table. That's definitely something I'm willing to consider. I wanted to make this video about something different though, because that's at least where I'm going with my headspace now. And in the event that I don't actually continue this series, because it's possible that it just gets a little too repetitive. I'm just sort of speaking over myself way too much and repeating things that I had mentioned in the previous videos. I do want to get this out in at least one video so that I don't need to say it again. So one of the things that I would like to do is I would like to get back into attempting to make friends. Now what I mean by that is that I do have friends. Like, I don't want it to come across that I don't have any friends. I do. Not a whole lot that I can necessarily talk to about terrible things, or no, not terrible things, but like things I view as terrible, I suppose, or things I can talk to about too personal things. The only reason I really do feel comfortable with that in the internet right now is just because I'm willing to experiment. But it's hard to do that face to face. But I do have friends nonetheless. But since I've established sort of a group that I've deemed as people that I'm friends with, it's been hard for me to make friends just because I know what these people like, but it's hard for me to gauge what these people may like or what these people may want me to say in order for them to like me. And there have definitely been situations in the past few years where I've tried making friends with people, and it hasn't worked. I've mentioned that I'm a pretty odd person anyway, so I'm not necessarily surprised by this, but it was discouraging. Nevertheless, I think it's something I should still at least try to do, maybe in a less odd way, but just by talking and not any of the other things I was doing. I wrote letters to people. Not a lot of people, but just to see if people would like to sort of keep corresponding with that. They didn't. And I don't blame them. It's not something that's for everybody, but I thought it'd be fun if it worked. It just didn't work. And I think that may be why I don't have a lot of friends. Like, again, I have a moderate number. But I don't have a lot of friends just because every time I can make friends again, it's like, hey, I'm gonna do this and see if you'll continue to talk to me. Oh, you don't? Well, moving on to the next person. And that's fine. If you're not gonna become friends with somebody, then I guess it makes sense that you do move on to the next person that you would like to make friends with, of course. But I didn't really do that. I stayed to myself a lot when I was in university, and now that I'm working, I'm only just sort of finding that loop again. But I continue to be a wallflower, and that's not necessarily an issue, but I'm a wallflower to the point that I still don't really enjoy talking to people, and that is something that I would like to work on. So if anything, if this particular section of videos doesn't continue to happen, I would like to at least remind myself that that is something I would like to continue with. In case you were wondering what I was doing with my hat, my head was just getting kind of itchy. I'm letting it air out for a second. Apart from that, I can't necessarily think of anything that I can add for that. Part of me thinks that I'm doing this just so I can get another video into this series, but honestly, I can't think of anything. There was kind of a bit of time in between videos because of work. A few stressful situations happened, and more likely than not, they will be brought up on this channel at some point. Under circumstances where I'm talking about like shame, or nervousness, or just people at work in general. I don't know when I'm going to be ready to talk about that, especially with, you know, the forces of YouTube. I'm aware that I don't have any viewers right now, and I'm aware that right now I'm just talking to myself. That's what I like. The fact that it's public is irrelevant. I like the fact that I don't have anyone watching me because my biggest critic right now is myself, and I'm alright with that. That's how I think I'm gonna like to keep it for a while, but I will keep it public just to sort of avoid being scared, I suppose. Although if too many people do start commenting soon, I may get discouraged, and I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. It's a fake problem up until then. The next video will be an update video, sort of seeing what's happened since I've made my videos in each sort of thing, if I'm gonna make a structure, because with work it may be a little difficult too, but if I'm gonna make like a schedule to make videos. if I'm planning anything else, if I'm planning to drop this particular series, or if I can plan anything that I can talk about. If I'm going to start planning videos in general, because a lot of this is, well, this entirely is improv. I just knew that I wanted to talk about making friends and things that I could do to improve my making friends. But yeah, I guess that's it. Well, not completely it. Just it in that sort of regard. I did want to end this video with sort of a message to myself, which, yeah, man, it's my channel. I can do what I want. I'm aware that I have more support in my life than I'm necessarily willing to accept. And it's a problem that I'm not willing to accept it, but yeah, I am still not doing that. So, in many ways, my hair is a mess, but whatever. In many ways, my issues with my unhappiness and my struggles to become happy again are because of me. And I know that, and I can accept that, but if anything that this series should stand for, it's that I'm not willing to let it completely destroy me, like I was in the past. This is, in many ways, sort of my first attempt at trying to make things better with myself. And if I can do that, then I think that that would be definitely a step in the right direction for me to maybe not getting my life back together. I never really fell apart. Well, I did, but I never fell apart to the point of no return. But I can get to a point where I know that I won't do that, and where I can be happy with myself, and I can talk to other people about things if I'm not. So, really, this is both my quest for happiness and for comfort, but mostly for happiness, because I feel like if I am comfortable, I will then become happy. But I can't be happy if I'm not comfortable. That makes sense to me, at least. But as of now, I just want me to keep going. I think that's what I should do. This video won't be uploaded until tomorrow because I work. That's basically it. And if it's anything like last time I uploaded the videos, I uploaded my first videos immediately because I knew that I was going to procrastinate, and I feel like I'm going to procrastinate uploading this one. I don't want to, and I'm going to try and like mentally prepare myself not to do that, but I still feel like I will. I'm going to try at my hardest to stick with it though, because whether or not this actually is a good idea remains to be seen, but it is definitely helping me at the time. So I want it to continue like that and see if I can gauge any actual positivity out of this to a point where I can conclude this series and say, you know what, I've succeeded with myself. I can move on. And I'd be happy with that if I could. But, moving on, this actually is the end now. I'm likely going to make a video Tuesday, Wednesday, around then. That seems like a good amount of time to give myself some time to work on things that I've discussed in the past 4. And yeah, hopefully I make some progress by then, so that I'll actually have something to talk about in that video. Sorry if this one was a little drown on and on, kind of, but yeah, I'm still working on these. I'm sure I'll get better at it at some point. Until then, have a great night, everyone. My eyes look so allergic.